Hello students, today we're going to discuss transitions and using them in your literary analysis essays. Let's begin by looking at the learning objective for this skill. So the learning objective is, after reading and discussing a model of student writing, students will develop their drafts by improving their cohesion through transitions. Cohesion basically is just referencing the flow of your essay and how easy it is to follow your ideas and as you transition from talking about one point to the next. So let's talk about your tasks for this skill lesson. First, as always, start off with the concept definition video and read the introduction that's beneath the video. I do want to mention something in this introduction. Let's go ahead and read it together real quick. Transitions are connecting words, phrases, and clauses that writers use to clarify the relationships among ideas and details in a text. Transitions have different functions depending on whether the text is argumentative, informative, or narrative. In an argumentative essay, writers state claims and provide reasons and evidence for their claims. So the kind of essay you are writing, the literary analysis, is an argumentative style. It has a claim, it has reasons and evidence to support those claims. To clarify a relationship between a claim and a reason or supporting evidence, transition words such as although or phrases like on the other hand can help make connections clear. For informative essays, transitions such as however, in addition, and for example may help create cohesion among ideas and concepts. And I'm going to stop there for a second. I don't want you to think that you are only limited to using although and on the other hand because this is an argumentative essay. You can certainly use any of the transitions that are mentioned in the informative essay as well. However, in addition, for example, there's also yet. There are a lot of different transition words, and you can use whatever you feel is the best fit. All they're saying here is that these kind of transition words that are sort of contrasting, although, on the other hand, or conversely, or looking at from another perspective, those are all typically used in argumentative writing, but you're not limited. All right, let's go ahead and move to tab 2. Complete the vocabulary drag and drop just to make sure that you are clear on what these words mean. After that, jump over to tab 3, read through the model page. The top half of the page gives you a checklist and specific instructions for creating effective transitions. And then the bottom half gives you the student model. This is Caroline's essay that we've been following. So what she's doing here is she's looking at one of her body paragraphs. I believe this is the third body paragraph from her draft. And she's taking a look at it and using the checklist that's above here. She's sort of seeing where she needs to improve on her body paragraph. So let's see what she says. After she answers the checklist questions and considers the list of tips, Caroline realizes that she's missing some key parts of the body paragraph. She needs a topic sentence that introduces her main idea. She also needs more text evidence. Without many direct quotations from King's letter, the paragraph reads more like a summary than an analysis. I want to stop there and talk about that for a second. You do need a lot of evidence from the text in an argumentative essay. Otherwise, they're right. You're basically just summarizing the text rather than actually analyzing it. When you're analyzing something, then you're breaking it down into its different components, different passages, looking at different quotes, and expanding on those quotes. The paragraph is also missing a concluding sentence that summarizes the points that Caroline has made. Finally, some transitions could be added to better link her ideas. All right, so Caroline went through and revised this paragraph, and this is what her revision looks like. I highlighted the transitions that she added in yellow, and then I highlighted the additional evidence that she added, the quotations from Letter from Birmingham Jail, in green. Let's look at some of her transitions. The topic sentence that she has now is a fantastic transition. Like Patrick Henry, Martin Luther King Jr. uses powerful language to address injustice. I really like this because, number one, it's brief, it's to the point. It also contains a claim in there, uses powerful language to address injustice, and it helps bridge the reader from Patrick Henry to Martin Luther King Jr. She just talked about Patrick Henry in the paragraph above this, and now she's moving readers from Patrick Henry to switching over to talking about Martin Luther King Jr. This would be a lot easier for a reader to follow and see, okay, now she's talking about somebody else. She again mentions Patrick Henry a couple sentences in, tying it back to that paragraph once again, which I think is really effective. She has another great transition here. For example, she says, and then she's got a however here and a yet here. As a result, that's another good transition down here. So look for places in your own writing where you can include these kinds of transition words that sort of smooth out the writing and make it easier for the readers. And then you can see that she's added a lot of evidence. I think in her draft, she only had one quote. Yeah, she only had one quote in her original draft. And now it looks like she's got about 7, which is fantastic. And look, they're not terribly long quotes either. They're not like super long sentences. And I really like how she embeds the quotes in her own sentences. So it isn't like she writes a sentence and then stops it and then does a whole quote and then adds analysis. She kind of blends it all together in her own writing. So it's all kind of one sentence. And I like that. So look at that and so you can understand what I'm talking about and see if you can copy that style. And then finally, the end on the last sentence, she does a good job of tying it back to her main claim about that words can change the world. She says, as a result of King's powerful language, others could share his vision of the world as it is and as it might be. Great way to tie this back to her main claim for this essay. All right, once you've taken a look at this page and you feel good about it, then click on tab 4 and complete the Your Turn tab with the just 2 multiple choice questions here. And then after that, move over to the final task, which is the writing task. What you're going to do is copy and paste one of your body paragraphs from your draft into this response box. And you're going to try to do the same thing that Caroline did. You're going to expand on it and add more elements to it. Now you can use this organizer tab if you like. This will help you sort of chunk these things into smaller bites. You've got the topic sentence here that you can work with. You can add more claims here or thoughts about your claims, more transition words. You can also add a concluding sentence. So and this can become your basis or your skeleton that you can work from in order to revise your own paragraph. But at this point, you're only going to be revising one paragraph for this skill. You don't have to do all of them. But what you want to look at is, are you transitioning from the previous paragraph to this paragraph? Do you have a topic sentence that sort of moves the reader from the paragraph above it into the topic that you're going to discuss now in this paragraph? In addition, you want to look at places within the paragraph where you can add transitionary words to help the flow of the writing. And then you want to look at how much evidence you have and see if you need to add more. If you only have 1 or 2 quotes, you probably need to add more evidence. And try to do it the way that Caroline did it, where it's shorter quotes that are sort of included in or written into her sentence and her writing. I think that's a really effective way to do that. It makes it more interesting for the reader and easier to follow. And then finally, look at the conclusion of your paragraph. Does it tie into your main claim or your main thesis statement somehow? You should conclude all of your body paragraphs in a way that keeps tying back to the central idea and the main claim that you're making in this essay. As always, if you feel stuck or lost or confused, please come talk to me. I'm more than happy to help you out. Good luck.